Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Legal Talk. I am John Mitchell. I'm the host of the show, and boy, oh boy, I am excited to have everybody out there in the audience looking at watching the show. And it's a community, right? It's a community. I'm so pleased and happy to have people out there tuning in and watching, and hopefully, I'm providing a valuable service and providing an opportunity for people to kind of learn and expand the knowledge base a little bit out there. We're not all attorneys, thank God, right? It's the reason why Shakespeare said, first kill all the attorneys, right? That's not legal advice, right? That's not any kind of advice. Don't be coming after the attorneys now. Don't do that. But Shakespeare did write that, and there's a reason why, right? But I hope that we can expand some knowledge out there and get everybody on the same page and kind of provide a good and valuable service to everybody out there. Now, I'm no expert in Chinese proverbs, but I'm told, right? I'm told that there is a Chinese proverb, and it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek thing, right? They say, "May you live in interesting times," and the subtext of that is they are really saying interesting times is not really a good thing. They don't really want you to live in interesting times. All right, because interesting times means things are up in the air, things are tumultuous. There's uncertainty in the air, and so that's kind of viewed as a bad thing, right? Well, we are right here and right now. Forget China. We're here in the U.S., right? And we have seasons of the year, and I'm not talking about spring and fall and winter and summer, right? I'm talking about different times of the year when different things happen, right? And I would say to you, to us attorneys, 'tis the season. Doesn't mean Christmas around the corner, right? Although, gifts, I'll give my address, gifts are accepted. But, it is the season, and by 'tis the season, I mean the season when the United States Supreme Court issues a bunch of rulings, right? So you always want to keep an eye on that, because in case you didn't know this or hadn't thought about it, the Supreme Court is the maximum legal authority in the judicial branch of the country, right? So it's the highest court. They even call it, sometimes they call the high court, right? And so when the Supreme Court issues a decision, well, the other lower courts that are further down on the ladder, they have to pay attention to that. And that is a thing in Latin. I'm going to break out the Latin, right? I'm going to break out the Latin on you. It's called stare decisis. And basically, stare decisis just means that whatever the higher court says, the lower courts are bound by it, right? So right now, there has been several really good Supreme Court decisions come out, good or bad. I mean, it depends on your point of view, I guess. But what I'm talking really about here, the important thing that I want to say is that they're very important decisions that have come out. And one of the big ones that just came out, in fact, as I record this opinion from the Supreme Court was just issued yesterday. Now, put a sticky note and pause. I just remind everybody, I'm a tax lawyer, right? I specialize in taxes, but I didn't go to just tax law school. I went to regular law school. So, we can talk about other legal things. I think people are going to be interested in that, right? So we've been promising this for a few weeks now, and finally I've put together some material, and we can go ahead and go on and talk about interesting other topics, other legal topics that are not tax related, right? So unsticky note that and continue with one of the important cases that the Supreme Court just decided yesterday, Trump versus United States, and we're talking about presidential immunity, right? Now, we all know what a president is. Just back up to civics class in case you want to, know about this. So there's three branches of government. So there's the executive branch, the judicial, and the legislative, right? President is the head of the executive branch, right? Executive branch, what do? They execute. So Congress makes laws and president executes on those laws, and then the courts are there to interpret the law and settle disputes, so to speak, right? So that's the way government works. Now, The lawsuit that Trump had filed is all about presidential immunity. We're not going to go into all of this in depth because this would take hours, but basically the argument is that the President of the United States should have, on the one hand, one extreme they say should have absolute total immunity. Anything you do goes, right? And so first of all, what is immunity, right? So you got a couple of different kinds of legal immunity, right? You got your civil immunity and you got your criminal immunity. So civil immunity means that basically you cannot be civilly sued. Nobody can file a lawsuit against you for what you did, right? And there's cases of civil immunity, and in fact, I'll talk about one of those cases here in a minute. The other kind of immunity is the criminal kind. So when you've got immunity from criminal immunity, that means that you cannot be charged, you cannot be processed in a criminal context for whatever it is that you did. And so there's an argument, right, about that. Where do you cut that off, right? Where's the right point to give immunity to a president, and where is it? Because you can't have absolute immunity. You can't have the president literally shooting somebody, whip out a gun and shoot somebody. I don't like the look of that guy. I'm going to whip out a gun and shoot him, right? So you can't do that. Neither civil nor criminal immunity, by the way, is expressly granted anywhere in the Constitution or in federal statutes, right? So you cannot look in the Constitution or look in the federal law and say, oh, I'm going to find the immunity provisions, right? I'm going to find the immunity clause in the Constitution. You can't do that, right? It's not there. It's kind of what sometimes we would call implied, right? Out of necessity, right? So the Supreme Court of the United States, way back long time ago, I'm thinking, what was that, back in the 60s or 70s? It's been many decades ago, President Nixon. So there was a case called Nixon v. Fitzgerald, and that's where the Supreme Court held that the president has civil immunity for acts that he does while in office, right? So that's civil actions regarding conduct that's up to the outer perimeter of his duties. So here's an important thing, an important distinction, right? So a president, if you're the president of the United States, well, you got official duties, things that you have to do as president, like give commands to the military. You have to make those hard decisions and say, drop those bombs or fire those missiles or whatever, right? But that's not the only thing a president does. A president's not 24/7 acting as a president. The president has a life outside of being president. He walks the dog, right? He does things as a private, personal individual. And so what the Supreme Court in the Fitzgerald case did is they decided whatever the president does as a part of his job duties, right? That's going to be immune from civil cases, right? But now we go into the criminal. And so if you want to look this up, by the way, it's Trump v. United States, and the case number of that is 23-939. And basically what the court has ruled now is that presidents are presumed to be shielded from prosecution. So they've got also the criminal immunity, but that's also only up to and including official acts, right? So whatever you do as president, you ordered the troops to go in and take a city, well, they can't come back and sue you for that now. Right? So because, and the basis behind that is we don't want the president to be second guessing and saying, oh my God, well, I really believe this next thing I'm about to do is good for the country, but God, if I do it when I get out of office, I might get prosecuted for it. So you don't want that in the back of his mind. You want the president to be free to be able to make his decisions and not be worried that someday he's going to be criminally charged for the thing that he did. And so there's going to be a lot more to this as time goes on, because this is a brand new, hot off the presses. Smell that, it's fresh out of the oven, right? There's a brand new decision from the Supreme Court, criminal immunity for the president. And so that is the new law of the land that had never been completely decided, that had not been ruled on by the Supreme Court before. And so that's a brand new thing. And so now, knock on wood, over the next several years and decades, they're going to maybe be honing in on that and kind of drawing the distinction. Where are those fine lines at, right? So anyway, this is a very important case that the Supreme Court just cited. And, everybody out there, let me know. Write me an email. I can be reached at jmitchell@cctaxlaw.com, or you can call me up if you got tax matters you want me to take care of for you, 713-333-0555. And we are going to go real quickly to a commercial break, and we will be right back with more legal talk. Stay with us.